Alright, what is up, guys? Red here. It's been like, I don't know, 6-7 months. I got a lot of updates, but before we get into car stuff, I got a little story. So this morning, about 11 o'clock, I got a call from my boss. He's like, hey, can you come in this afternoon? I need to talk to you. I was like, sure, I'll come in right now. And I go in, and he pulls me off to the side. He's like, how would you like to be a manager? And I mean, I've been trying to be a manager for a while, and of course I took it up and was like, yes, absolutely, I'd love to be a manager. So at first, I don't know why I would be a manager, because we're already full on managers. And he tells me, like, we need to keep this between us. And as I'm telling the whole world, but you don't know where it's at. He's like, we need to keep this between us, but there's $3,000 missing. And there's $3,000 missing, and we don't know where it went. Because on Saturday night, the money went in, and on Sunday morning, there was money missing. Like, wow, how could that have happened? And he goes, the only person that could have came in is one of the other managers, and obviously, and we know which one. I'm not going to disclose anything, but he goes, we gave him an office key a really long time ago, and he said he didn't want the responsibility, so he gave it back. So what we think happened is he took it and he went and made a copy of the key and then brought us back the original. So he was able to come in and get the key to the office and take the money. Now they have no proof of this, but that's what they suspect. So they're going to let him go. And they're not going to let him go because of the money missing. That was in addition to it, but they're going to let him go because he was being a passive theft. He was passively stealing money. He clocks in. He's supposed to clock in at 8 o'clock every morning, and he's been coming in at 6:30 and clocking in way before he's supposed to be clocking in normally. So he's been passively stealing money, and that's what they're going to let him go for if he wants to try to take it to court for firing him for improbable reasons or anything like that. So I'm a manager, which is awesome. That's surprising. I'm young, 18 years old, and never thought I'd be a manager already, but here we are. I mean, not already, but I've only been there for a year, but I've known them for a long time. I've worked in one of the other chains for 2 years and that kind of thing. So now on to cars. We, as you can see, I'm not driving the Volvo. I'm driving a 94 Nissan Pathfinder. I was leaving Sacramento. I was going to look at a car. I was looking at a Mitsubishi 3000 GT VR4. It's kind of like the car I've been wanting right now. And I found one, and I went to go look at it, and it turned out he was like, the coolant keeps leaking, I don't know what's happening, it never returns back, it leaks, and blah blah blah, and whatever. And he's like, let me go get some coolant and a battery charger so we can start it up. And so he pops the hood before he leaves, and I go and I check it out, and it's got water in the oil. It's all delicious milkshake and whatnot. So that ended up not working, so I leave, and on my way back I'm going up this grade, and I just lose power. So I keep going, so I gotta pull over. I'm going up a grade, I'm trying to get up past it, and I'm like standing at 6,000 RPMs, just making my way up 15 miles an hour, got everyone behind me honking, it's awful. And I finally get to this gas station. I gotta get up this last little slope to pull into the gas station. I'm bouncing off the rev limiter at 2 miles an hour, and then it just blows. It blows up, oil spills everywhere at the gas station. It's embarrassing, it's terrible. And so I called AAA, I have insurance, I got it towed to one of the local shops, and he said I had a rare case of something that happened. He said the torque converter split, I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of a torque converter splitting, but apparently that happens sometimes. Not that I know of, but I trust him. He's a good guy, and the transmission went out. Costs more than the car does anyway. New transmission's $1,300. I paid $1,200 for the car, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But the torque converter split, and that in turn blew the transmission. So now I was out 2 cars because my wife, her parents needed their car back because their car went out. They had a Cadillac, something happened with the Cadillac, and they needed their van back, so she gave them their van back, and now we were out 2 cars. So I had to buy 2 cars, and I was unable to get a Mitsubishi, so that kind of sucked, but you know, it is what it is. You gotta have responsibilities first and that kind of thing. But so I gotta run into the post office real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, back from the post office. So where were we? So the torque converter split, he said, so that in turn blew the transmission, and the Volvo's dead. It's done. All that work to get the black interior in, and nothing. I mean, if you guys need any parts, I have them. I have parts if you need it. So if you need any Volvo parts, I have some tan interior parts. A lot of the tan was pretty messed up, but all the black is in really good condition. The only black that I don't have is I don't have the center console, I don't have the dash, and I don't have the rear deck. That ain't closed all the way. And I don't have the rear deck. The deck, it was just really deteriorated and not in good condition. No one would have wanted it. It was all falling apart and dusty from the fibers being all dried out. Anyway, so I have this 94 Pathfinder, and then I got my wife a 2005 Mercury Montego Premier. It's all-wheel drive. It's really nice. So I really want the Mitsubishi, but I keep telling myself, you don't need it. You really don't. You already have a project, the truck. I'll get to that in a second. And once the truck's up, then you can start spending a little bit of money and get a car. But for now, just focus on one thing at a time. So the truck, I'm redoing the front shock mounts, and I'm doing a lot of stuff on the interior at the same time. For the front shock mounts, so when I did them, they weren't done properly. I just went too fast, didn't take the time to make sure it was all done right, and it just didn't come out good. So what happened was, I got a fix-it ticket, and instead of taking care of that first, I decided before doing the fix-it ticket, I was going to tear the truck apart and try to put the long travel kit on, and that didn't go very well. I ended up getting to the point where I needed the fix-it ticket to be done, but I didn't have enough time to do the truck, and it was all just a big rush, and I ended up making the shock mounts really fast the day before the fix-it ticket was due. Went out, got the fix-it ticket done, went to the courthouse and got it all fixed, and it was stupid. The shock mounts eventually started to lift from the frame because there just wasn't enough penetration because I didn't take enough time to do it, and I just sloppy job, you know. So now I cut those off, and I got I'm doing shock hoops now instead of shock mounts off the original coil buckets, cutting out the coil buckets completely and doing shock hoops that will bolt to the frame ultimately. So I have the hoops bent, and I just got my measurements the other day, and I made my first shock tab that'll go onto the tube, and I just got to make 3 more of those, and then I should be able to get the shock lined, or I should be able to get the shock tube lined up, because what I've been having trouble with is getting the shock hoop to sit at the right height, because basically it's a plate, the tube is welded to the plate, and then the shock hoop notches and welds to that tube that's on the plate, and then it'll all bolt together. The biggest problem I'm having is where to line up the shock hoop, or figuring out where the shock hoop's going to line up, and then where the tube is going to line up on the plate, and then all that connects together. And I figured I better do the shock tabs first, because once I figure out where the shock goes on the shock hoop, then I can have it sit at that height, and then everything else should line up on its own. In theory, that's how it should happen. So we'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys updated and try to get some more videos out there. I'm bad at this. I'm bad at the whole consistency thing, and it's the motivation, really. I don't have anything to motivate myself. I'm just like, yeah, I could do it, but why do that when I can do nothing? So that's kind of how that's happening. So I was thinking, if I just keep posting videos, I get feedback from the comments, it'll kind of give me more motivation, getting feedback from you guys, because really that's what's going to push me, is hearing back from you guys, what you guys have to say, just talking with you guys and communicating, and knowing that there's people out there that want to watch, you know, and I think that's going to give me the push that I need to consistently make the videos and keep doing them, and, you know, so we'll see what happens. But that's what I got right now. Got the, trying to sell the Volvo, or at least part it out. And then I got the truck. Got that all torn down, basically. Got the bed off, trying to drill out the bed sides for fiberglass bed sides. Doing the shock hoops. Got a gate shifter for it. If you guys want to see all that kind of stuff, just let me know in the comments, but I'm just going to focus on the shock hoops for now. Yeah, that's about it. So just comment below. We can talk. Anything you're curious about, anything about the Volvo, about the truck, I'm willing to talk about it all. I just need to get comments from you guys. So, alright, I'll see you guys next time.